Hello guys, in today's tutorial we're going to implement ads into our game, and the way that we're going to do this is whenever our button is filled up, we click it, and then when it's on cooldown, we can click on a button to play an ad and to skip this part right when it's full again. So let's get started. The first thing that you have to do is to create an account. Uh, but you can also use your Unity account. So just go to unity@unity3d.com, click on login, and you may have to put your Unity credentials. When you reach this point, click on Start Monetizing, and let's click on Android because this is an Android game. And click here if your game is not live yet, just like ours. And its name is Banana Tap Ad Game. And you can choose to make it for children under 13 or not, or our game is not. So continue and continue again, and we have now our game called Banana Tap, which has this ID. And with this then now you have to import some assets into our project. So go into Window and the Asset Store, and we're going to download the Unity Ads assets, ads, Unity Ads, import, and now it has imported, and hopefully it's all working fine because sometimes it doesn't. Let's see if it works. So for example, here in our circular button script, I'm going to open it, and the way that you see if the assets were working correctly is by typing using Unity engine, and let's see if autocomplete advertisement. As you can see, it doesn't autocomplete, meaning the asset didn't install correctly. This will happen very rarely. Is the very first time it happens, and the way that I found out to fix this is just by creating a new project, call it something mer, and I'm going to import the Unity ads there. So Windows, Asset Store. If this error didn't happen to you, you can skip. And this error is something related to a thing called mini JSON. So yeah, that's it. So import and import, and we are now importing. And just to show you that these assets are working, I'm going to create here a script. You don't have to actually do any of this. Create an ad, and if I try, and now if I put here using Unity engine advertisements, you see that autocompletes, meaning it's installed correctly in this project. So what I'm going to do is to copy this stuff to the other project. So I'm going to copy the plugins and the standard assets and these things as well to our project, which was called Banana Tap, like so. Replace, and now we're going back to our project. So open project, Banana Tap, and now hopefully it will work. Let's go on to the script that we were about to change, which was a circular button script. And now if I put here using Unity engine advertisements, you see that it auto completes, and this is basically what it should happen right away, and you shouldn't have to copy this from another project. It should happen this right away, but if it doesn't, well, then do whatever then do what I did. Okay, now we have that done, and if I build, this is a little error. It gives you 8 errors, but you can actually play the game without these errors. But it's kind of annoying, every time you are programming something and then you hit build, and bam, they appear these errors that actually mean nothing. But I'm going to show you a way to fix this, and to do that, there's all you have to do is in our project, which is the Banana Tap project, right click in every one of these assembly stuff. So right click, options, general, 4.0, okay, and do the same for the other two. Options, general, 4.0, okay, options, general, 4.0, okay, and now if I hit build, you'll see that that error doesn't show, just like we wanted. And now let's get started with the real programming. So first off, the first thing that we need to do when we want to show an ad is to initialize, like they do in here. And how can you initialize? Just by typing advertisement.initialize and your game ID over here. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Advertisement.initialize and the string with the app ID, and as you can see, there's also this thing called test mode, and that can actually always be set to true. And the text mode basically does is that if this text mode is true, it will never show ads in any platform. And by the way, in Unity editor, it's just like if this was always set to false, because you can't actually show ads in the Unity editor. That wouldn't make much sense. Anyways, I'm going to drag here I'm going to copy to here the key that I had for the game, which is this key. Like so, and now whenever we want to display an ad, and in our case, like I said, I want to display an ad whenever it's on the charging state. So I'm going to put here, if we click the button and the button is on the charging state, so if the state equals the charging state, I want to play an ad. And how can you play an ad? You have to put a condition to see if you can actually play the ad. So if advertisement dot is ready, then advertisement dot show, like so, and that's basically all you need to display an ad. So let me show you that this is working. I have my game over here. So okay, I'm going to change the charging time to 20 seconds. And if I click the button, you'll see that happens. And now if I click it, it is displaying an ad. Here should be an ad unit. As you can see, that means this is working. A little problem with displaying ads in the Unity editor is that in any platform, if you display an ad, the game is paused. The time pauses. But in the editor, that doesn't happen. And so as you can see here, the button is still going up. And we don't want that. We want the button to stop even when the ad is playing. And that's a small thing. It doesn't matter much. But yeah, that's it. And this displays the ad, but it actually doesn't do anything. It does any action. And what you want to do is whenever the person clicks it, after it watches the whole ad, then the status of the button will be ready again, so that we can click it, like so. So to do that, I'm going to actually copy from the integration guide over here, this part over here, and as you can see, they do advertisement.show and null, and here the second part, it does some show ups and stuff, and you can call a function over here or do anything you want. So let's copy this part over here related to the advertisement.show and paste it in here. Okay, and now instead of debugging something like they did, I want to change the status to be equal to state dot ready, like so. And that's the simplest you can get. And now again, the charging time must be something like 60 seconds, for instance. And the button is ready. I click it, and then it gets on the charging time, and I don't want to wait. Bam, blah blah. Here it will be an ad unit. we are watching the ad close. This is just like we've watched the whole ad, and now as you can see the button is filled up again, and that's basically it. There's a few more stuff that I'm going to talk about with to you guys, but this is basically the very basics of the advertisements. And what I'm going to talk to you about is this thing called zones. So I'm going in our game. I'm going to monetization settings, show advanced settings. There's here these zones, and the difference between this zone and this zone is that this zone, a zone is basically a video. This is just the name that he gave it, but a zone is a video. And the only difference between these two types is that this one you can skip and this one you can't skip. And as you can see, this one is the default, and when one of them is the default, if you don't specify here what you want, that one will play. But if you want to, for instance, I want to play always this one, so you copy this, and first off you have to check if that zone is ready, and then we have to play that specific zone, like so. And that's really simple. And you can also change the settings, as you can see over here. There's a whole few settings that you can change. And there's also this blacklist, which changes which genres of ads you don't want to appear. And finally, the test mode, which controls this part over here. This true. This is the test mode. The test mode is true in this moment, and this actually overrides that. For instance, it can force the test mode to be off and to be on, or to be on, or to be whatever you set it to be, or to only be on or off on a certain device. For now, I'm going to click on force on. This way, it will show ads in every platform except on Unity Editor, and that's basically it. And I don't think there's much more to talk about ads. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.